Well, you guys asked for it. Yeah, so I'm doing this now, I guess. Let me make one thing clear before I start this video in full. I am not going to be an SML exclusive YouTube channel. I'm going to be uploading content about a variety of other things still on this channel. However, I did want to do something like this for a while now because honestly, I really like SML. I'm going to spare a lengthy introduction because if you clicked on this video, you know what this is. However, I'll give a basic one. SML is a puppet, originally plush channel run by Logan 30acre where he and others make videos with said puppets. Popular characters include Jeffy, Marvin, Jr., Joseph, Cody, Chef Pee-Pee, Brooklyn Guy, and more. I've always been a fan of the channel and I do prefer the older content like a lot of people. However, I do in fact like modern SML. I see it as a silly puppet show that can have the pretty bad and poor video from time to time, but I still enjoy their output most of the time. And with this monthly series, I'm going to show that. Eventually, I'm going to make a full retrospective on SML and cover every year in that singular video, so that is going to be interesting. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe down below and turn on the notification bell. Totally optional, but it'd be appreciated if you did. Without further ado, let's begin reviewing January 2025 of SML like an oaf, and an idiot, and a moronic shitface. Okay, that's enough. For the first video of the year, this was actually pretty good. I've seen a decent amount of people not really care for this video, and I can definitely understand why. One critique I did have with the video is that I feel like there could have definitely been more things happening in this video. For one, there could have been more scenes of the new clock villains carrying out their plans of stealing clocks or refrigerators. It also wouldn't have mattered if they were successful in their plans or if they were really bad at it. Either route could have worked in my opinion. It could have led to more comedic value, as in possibly more character reactions like there was with the Huckerdoos. However, that is the only real issue I had with the video. My favorite thing about this video is definitely the clock guys. They were hilarious. From their acting done by Poobie and Anthony, being so over the top and comical that it's gold, to how they go about their plans of stealing clocks in the video, and them being very incompetent and bad at it. Whenever these guys were on screen, it was great. The scene where they list all the types of clocks in the world was also really good because of just the utter dry comedy the joke becomes. It's not even just the clock villains that were good about this video. Drunk Marvin and Drunk Brooklyn Guy were hilarious as always, honestly. As well, the way Brooklyn Guy tells Marvin lock the door was great due to the line delivery. How Christopher Walken is portrayed is stupidly funny. Additionally, despite not being a lot, I do like the somewhat of character variety in this video. You got the clock villains of course, and I guess Christopher Walken, but who really counts him? However, you also have Marvin, Rose, Jeffy, and Brooklyn Guy. You got Chef Pee-Pee, my man, and also Simmons. You also have Hank and Suzette Huckerdo. Despite it not being much character variety, the little bit of it is still appreciated. And one final thing, the ending of Hank shooting the clock villains was gold. It just comes out of nowhere and it's great. All in all, this video honestly gets an 8 out of 10 for me. To be fair, the clock guys carry this video a lot, but I still enjoyed the video a good amount, and it even had good moments that were not just the clock villains. Also, need I mention this video was a pretty interesting concept too, that while despite not fully reaching its potential, it still had a bit to it in execution to an extent. Now, this was a really fun video. I must start this by saying, I'm only on episode 3 of season 1 of the actual Squid Game show. So as this SML series goes on, I may not understand some of what happens in the video, so I'm going to review the videos as videos. However, with what I know about the show so far, I think this video parodies it very well. From the game of Tajaki that Marvin plays, to Marvin getting a card with a number to play the games, them not getting to know where the island of the games is located, red light, green light, the ending of the video where Marvin and Jeffy almost don't make it, which mirrors the ending of the first episode of the actual show, which made room for some intensity in the video, which is great, etc, etc. This video does a great job at that and provides some comedy within this to make it more of a parody. I also really like the character variety in this video. It's way more than the last video for sure. You got your typical Marvin, Rose, and Jeffy. However, you also have Mr. Goodman, who's funny in this video. Boop! You got Jackie Chu, which I really like how he's used in a different role in this video than the typical teacher role that he is. It makes him more interesting, and it also ties back to the first Squid Game video where he was pretty much the one letting the games happen in his classroom. You have Brooklyn Guy and Karen, you have the Chief, there's Hansel, Chef Pee-Pee, Tyrone, Judy, Barbara, Crush, and even Screwball, which the noises he makes as he's walking during red light green light will never get old. Also, in my opinion, the funniest joke in this video was that when Jeffy licks the taser and goes down, I lost it when the circle guy went down with him. That was so small but fucking amazing. I laughed for a good bit at that. Speaking of Jeffy, I like how it sets up that he remembers the games, obviously tying it back to the first Squid Game video again. That's neat. This video also just has good scenes like when Marvin plays the jockey, for example. There's sort of a montage of him playing it, and it's visually shot pretty good. And even goes with really great music. Another scene that's a good example is the scene where Brooklyn Guy and Karen play Russian roulette. It has a good mixture between comedic and disturbing. All in all though, this was a great video. This was a nice setup to a new series on the channel, which need I mention, I'm glad SML has been doing series videos again. They wouldn't make them for the longest time, and it's so nice to see. All around, 9 out of 10. Enjoyed this one a lot. I want to be disgusted by this video, however, I just can't. This video tries way too hard in being gross and shocking, and it just ends up not being such. It just comes across as stupid, nothing, boring, and utterly pointless. The concept for this video alone was stupid, but in a bad way. It really wants to be Jeffy's cat throw up. However, I feel nothing from this video if I'm being honest here. As well, the plot of the video just has issues too. It's just all over the place. The flood aspect of the video that comes in a little bit later just lacks proper stakes. As well, the solution to the conflict is resolved too quickly. While Shrek returning is really appreciated, I also think it would have made the plot of the video way better if either Jeffy, Marvin, or Brooklyn Guy were the ones to resolve the conflict. It would make the video feel less pointless and thrown together. Otherwise, outside of like a few characters with very minor roles, none of the characters really stand out in this video worth praising or criticizing. Even Brooklyn Guy's story in this video is one of his weaker ones in my opinion. As well, most of the jokes don't really even land that hard. You can tell this video was shock value first, then plot and comedy second. Despite this video's issues, I do have some minor positives. My biggest one is just the fact it's only 3 videos into 2025 and Shrek is already back. Shrek is a character in SML that is so hard to mess up in my opinion, and this video was no exception. He was pretty damn good and definitely in character. I've noticed that ever since 2024, SML has gone back to using old characters like Shrek and Woody. Hell, even going as far as to acknowledge other old characters in a whole video about it. Even though they're still only used sparingly, it's better than them not being used at all, which used to be the case for multiple years. There's the argument one could make that they're only being included just for fan service, and I can definitely see that. Regardless though, it's still nice seeing them, and I'm glad Shrek came back in this video again for a little bit. I also think Booger returning was interesting. Booger isn't really one of my favorite characters per se, but I'm glad another character who isn't typically used got some spotlight. He's only in the video for a little bit, which is neat. I also like Tom Brady's return, and the joke about him letting the flood kill him was actually pretty funny. The only other positive I have with this video is that one short bit where Rose calls Brooklyn Guy a boiny like Karen does. That was unexpected, quick, and as a result, it's a pretty funny joke. In the end though, this video gets a 2.5 out of 10. I didn't really like it that much outside of a few character returnees and one quick joke. It wasn't disgusting like it tried too hard to be, it was just a boring and quite frankly nothing burger of a video. For a Jimmy Butler video, this was pretty unique, mostly due to the time travel aspect of it. The scenes where Brooklyn Guy and Marvin time travel to the past to stop Jimmy Butler from drinking coffee were pretty good and were the highlights of the video. Also, can I just say that I am still really liking these new sets for the videos? This gas station set in particular is still pretty good. Back to the point though, I definitely think the time traveling aspect of the videos served to make this video stand out from other Jimmy Butler videos. It's not even just the time travel aspect of this video that is good. The scene where Marvin and Brooklyn Guy get back home and there's so many clones of the two is just hilarious. Probably my favorite scene from the video if I'm honest. The scene where Brooklyn Guy sets up Looney Tunes style traps is just fucking stupidly great. The dream sequence at the beginning was pretty funny, and the ending of the video where it's a parody of Gone from the Wind was just gold. It had me laughing for a good bit. Also, back to the past scenes, I love that one tiny scene of Jimmy trying out the coffee and there's unique camera shots. I really like when SML does camera shots like that for scenes. It makes the video more unique visually. If I had some critiques of the video, I will say that I think this video could have had more jokes. This video did in fact have jokes, hilarious hilarious ones at that, but I definitely think the comedic angle could have been definitely raised more, especially with scenes that take place in the past. As well, despite the parody being fucking hilarious, it really didn't need that extra bit with Broken Guy explaining it's a parody. And as for a nitpick that doesn't really matter too much, I do think the fact that Jimmy was animated for one of the traps did look kind of out of place. I get why it was done, but I definitely think it could have looked better so it looked like he was actually spinning. Otherwise though, this was actually a pretty damn good video. I'm giving this one an 8.5 out of 10. Nicely done. This video was pretty good. I think my favorite thing about this video was the valuable inspector. Poopy put on a great performance as him and he's hilarious. I also just like how he's both glasses and a monocle. That is so stupid but great. I think my favorite part of the video in terms of scenes is the very end where he comes back and claims that the dinosaur tooth is not valuable and then he runs off with it, stealing it for himself. That ending twist caught me off guard and was a pretty funny way to end the video. It was also a nice way to bring this established character from earlier in the video later on. In general, the plot of this video is a pretty fun one. Everyone trying to steal the dinosaur tooth is just neat to watch. I will say, one critique I had towards the video is that maybe there could have been more scenes where characters like Goodman, Broken Guy, Chef Pee-Pee, and Steve could have tried to steal the tooth in individual moments. They were close with Goodman, but I don't think it went fully through. That could have added more comedic value, and it could have made the plot, and so by proxy, the video, more fun. In terms of characters, I don't know why, but I found Broken Guy to be especially funny in this video. I like his line deliveries on a lot of what he says in this video, and the stuff he says too. Chef Pee-Pee was pretty good too, same with Marvin and Goodman. Jeffy was pretty hit or miss in this video, I feel like. He had some funny moments like when he treated his Cheeto like a pet and literally had a funeral for it. However, I feel like him going on Instagram live to show off the tooth and that's how Goodman finds out about it to be pretty forced. Jeffy wasn't bad at all, but he definitely could have been better. In terms of comedy, I found a decent portion of the jokes in this video pretty funny. There's the ones I've already pointed out, and then there's the ones like the Willy Wonka reference about how Jeffy should run as fast as he can, and then Jeffy is just already home because the house was already right there. That one was great. Another one was when Chef Pee-Pee thought Marvin was Junior because they sounded similar, which is really funny if you know that Marvin and Junior are both played by Logan himself. All around though, this video was a pretty enjoyable one, 7.5 out of 10. It has its issues there and there, but all around I had a good time. Yeah, no, this video ain't it, Chief. I did not like this one at all. I just really didn't like how Cody was treated in this video. It was something that didn't need to happen again. I especially didn't like it in this video because of the extremes Junior and Joseph went to in this video. They throw Ken away from him. They try to get him to say the alphabet and get him to pronounce words, which that scene dragged on and on, by the way. They push him down the stairs, and they even throw him in the fucking pool. Like, dude, come on. Now, I know this is a silly puppet show, and I'm aware of that, but one huge issue I do have with these jokes is that it's the same joke over and over. It's repetitive. All of that makes this video feel like nothing truly happened outside of Cody getting his wisdom teeth removed, which, by the way, the scene where he actually gets them removed was just so hard to watch and was an insult to injury. Anyway, this video just needed more jokes than just Cody getting straight up abused by his friends. Possibly even a way for Junior and Joseph to get comeuppance, because those two pretty much get away with what they did. The comeuppance could have been comedic. That's what the issue is with the decent portion of Junior and Joseph treating Cody like shit videos. It's the same joke throughout the whole video, and there's missed potential with comedic value if Junior and Joseph possibly get comeuppance for what they do. Otherwise, this video is just both distasteful as well as extremely boring. Also, minor thing, but Cody and Judy's phone call was just cringe to listen to, at least in the ways they speak to each other since they're mother and son. In terms of positives, well, Brooklyn Guy's story in this video is okay, and I gotta admit, the ending where Junior and Joseph arrest Brooklyn Guy was actually fucking hilarious, and I lost it for a bit after that, by far the best part of the video. Otherwise, this video really sucked, 1.5 out of 10. Moving on. Thankfully, this video was actually pretty good. My favorite thing about this video is by far Keith Lee. Lavelle does an amazing job as him. I love how he pretty much comes across as a super serious food critic, and it's just really funny with the line deliveries. Also, him dying in a very exaggerated way was just fantastically hilarious. In general, the scene where he's at the SML house eating Chef Pee-Pee, aka Denny's food, was just really good and the best part of the video, scene-wise. It was pretty funny for out. Chef Pee-Pee was also a highlight in this video. I really like how he's portrayed in this one. He was pretty funny. I also lost it when he crunched his mouth up as Junior got into more detail with explaining his plan. That shit was hilarious. I thought the beginning was pretty good too. Mostly that works as an introduction to the video, as in, it establishes the trio love TikTok. This is good because it makes the fact that TikTok is getting shut down more believable for the trio to be upset about. It also establishes Keith Lee, which was also good. I also liked the very end where a voice tells each of the trio to go on TikTok. The voice is so stupid and it's hilarious. It's also just a good joke about how a lot of the people who use TikTok are literally addicted and glued to it. As for my final positive, I think it was pretty interesting and cool that Jackie Chu, Dane and Dawn, and Gordon Ramsay all return in this video. You know, more minor characters who are barely used. Although, this leads me on to my first critique with the video. I thought it was kind of weird that Jackie Chu and Dane and Dawn show up briefly for a scene about the Chinese spying on them. This scene is set up like it's going to have importance later, but it's never paid off because this is their only scene in the episode. I feel like they should have come back at the end or later in the video, whether it be for plot relevance or as a joke. Hell, it leads to my other major critique with the video that it feels like there's something missing in it. It feels like there should have been a bit more to it, maybe a proper conclusion. It did feel a bit abrupt at the end. Maybe this hypothetical, properly concluded ending could have had Jackie Chu and Dane and Dawn? Dunno. And finally, while not terrible or even bad, the pacing can still be a little iffy at times, especially in that some of the trio's talking scenes can last for a little bit longer than they need to be, especially when Cody's explaining why Junior's plan wouldn't work. All in all though, I actually enjoyed this video a good bit. Keith Lee does carry it, but the video also just has other funny and comedic bits to it that make the video all around pretty good. 7.5 out of 10, way better than the previous video. This was a pretty great continuation. I think this video is genuinely pretty funny at times. Some examples being Square Man making the characters look and even booping Brooklyn Guy, Not Yippee, Chef Pee-Pee screwing over Screwball, Egg Time, and more. Some characters like Chef Pee-Pee and Brooklyn Guy were even funny themselves in this video and say things that are pretty damn good. One thing that got me a bit was how Brooklyn Guy said that Hansel's voice sounded like Slinky from Toy Story. Square Man was pretty good in this video too. I like how he pretty much hates his job, but he can take his job seriously when the game is happening. I also like how this video introduces Player 1. It's a nice parallel to the show, and I can't wait to see what the SML Squid Game series does with him. As well, when the characters are playing the game, it's pretty fun and enjoyable to watch, mostly to see how each of the characters die and see who wins or not. It's pretty cool. It even got intense a little bit near the end with how Brooklyn Guy fucked up his cookie shape, and how it was in the air for a bit if he was going to get away with it and win the game, or if he was going to be eliminated. I even like how it calls back to their first Squid Game video from 2021, and it's used in the video for which shape Jeffy picks and how he announces the hardest shape to everyone, so it increases his chances of winning the games. It's even a payoff somewhat to the first part where Jeffy claims to everyone he's played these games before. In terms of other stuff, I like how it parodies the whole thing in the actual show where the participants got to vote on whether or not they wanted to keep playing or go home. That was cool to see. Additionally, I like the editing for the piggy bank and the award money at the beginning of the video. It was decently edited. I do have a nitpick with this video though, and that is that why are the beds area in the room used for the elevator in the FNAF Social Location video? I don't know, I noticed it and it was a little confusing. Probably to save time or something. All around, this was a great video. This video is neck and neck with part 1 in my eyes. However, I'm gonna give it to this video for all the unique things this video does. 9 out of 10 though, really great and enjoyable video. The first Ken pun title of the year, and how was it? I didn't really care for it. If I'm being honest, I thought it was kind of boring, mostly due to how not much happens. The only things that happen really are everyone thinking Ken is Kenzel Washington and the ending where Junior and Cody steal Kenzel's money from the bank and the real Kenzel Washington leaves a voicemail to Cody yelling at the two for doing such. I just think there should have been more scenes to the overall video and less talking. I think there was a lot of the trio talking. You know how in the middle of the video Steve takes Ken, Cody, and Junior to the movie set? Well, what if we got to see them at the movie set? That would have made the video so much cooler and more interesting. The plot itself is also kind of stupid too. The fact that everyone, even eventually Junior, thinks Ken is actually Kenzel Washington is the plot, and it gets old and repetitive. As well, along with the plot, the comedy in this video isn't great either. Mostly because the jokes are just, again, everyone thinks Ken is Kenzel Washington. The jokes need to be more varied for the video to be both funnier and better in terms of plot. If I had any positives, well, my favorite part of the video is the early trailer the trio and Ken get to watch. It's well shot and the performances of Pooby and Lavelle were well done. I also like the desaturation and the colors of the trailer. In terms of other positives, I like how more was done with Ken to an extent. It's always nice seeing Ken get some attention in videos nowadays. And finally, I like that the bank set was used. I really like the new sets, 'tis all. Otherwise, yeah, while not a terrible video, it wasn't really a good video either. It was pretty boring for a lot of it and it felt uneventful. 3.5 out of 10. Pretty bad video. Oh boy, this video. So this video was made because it snowed in Pensacola, Florida for the first time in years. So hey, new video idea. Due to that, this video is very unique. By far the best parts of the video were the snow scenes. It was really fun watching the characters all throw snowballs and build snowmen. The snow aspect of this video made this one more special from typical SML videos and made this one stand out a lot. A lot of the jokes in this video are hilarious too. Jeffy's snowman, Junior wearing Cody's glasses at the end, the scene with Junior and Joseph constantly jinxing each other, Joseph leaving quickly when Brooklyn guy shows up and says he's there to arrest them, the kids throwing snowballs at Hank and the snowballs doing absolutely jack shit, Brooklyn guy shooting at the snowman, and more. All jokes that pretty much land whether big or small. Also, Brooklyn guy in this video was just funny, especially like when he's talking to Hank as well as Junior a little later at the door. Pretty good shit. Now, there's one glaring issue with the video that I have, and that's that the Cody mistreatment shows up again in this video, but to a lesser degree. However, it still became too much, and I don't know how to feel about the fact that it became the plot for the second half of the video. I feel like more should have been done with the snow part of the video. As well, the jokes of Cold Cody seeming like he's going to say a slur, but he says something else got pretty old and kind of annoying fast. I would have only done that joke 1 or 2 times, honestly. Also a minor issue, but Marvin fell out of character for me. He felt too idiotic towards Jeffy. Despite that glaring issue, which sadly lowers his video down by quite a bit, I had a lot of fun with this video. The concept is amazing and the execution is pretty damn good, as well as even funny. 8 out of 10. Pretty good video. I know a lot of people didn't like this one, and while understandable, I personally don't agree. Now, the concept of this video is admittedly pretty stupid, however, the execution, surprisingly pretty good. I like the plot in this one. I like Junior in this video as a protagonist, and I actually think PJ Crenshaw served to be a pretty good antagonist. Those two characters weren't the only highlights though. Jackie Chu was decent, Chef Peepee was hilarious, Bully was good, especially with the interaction he had with Junior at the beginning. That was funny. As well, the fourth wall joke with Pooey about him being bald was also hilarious and got me. Additionally, the scene where Junior comes into school with the low taper fade was just great, with everyone just being blown away by it. As well, minus the ending, the pacing was consistently solid. I will say though, I do think the video ended kind of abruptly. I feel like there should have been more at the end to help properly conclude the video. As well, I feel like there could have been more comedy in this video. A lot of the jokes it did well landed, but there still should have been more. Also, I'm going to use this video to say something for future SML monthly reviews, such as well as anytime I talk about SML. I am not going to count the sponsorships as a pro or con. They will not affect the video's ranking. In my opinion, these sponsorships are skippable and have no actual impact on the videos they're in, so therefore, it's pointless to complain about them. Plus, it's just a YouTube channel just trying to make money. Oh well. However, for the actual video, it's pretty solid. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Fairly enjoyable throughout. This video was just great. I enjoyed it a shit ton. It's yet another continuation of the Squid Game 2 series, and there's a lot to like about this one. My favorite thing about this video is both Marvin and Brooklyn Guy. They're both hilarious throughout the ending. The ending of this video is great because of their interactions with each other. It got me laughing for a good while, not gonna lie. I also love Brooklyn Guy nibbling on Marvin's ears. Marvin X Brooklyn Guy, am I right, guys? Also, a lot of the characters in this video were pretty good. Chef Peepee was fucking hilarious. Jeffy was funny. Hansel was good. Triangle Guy was also hilarious. I loved a lot of his lines. In general, this video was pretty funny all around. I love how Brooklyn Guy is called Pumpkin Guy again as a callback to Brooklyn Guy Gets Fired. I also like the fourth wall joke of Brooklyn Guy and Jeffy being plot armor. That was neat. As well, I really like what this video did in terms of plot. I really like how Marvin and Rose's relationship is challenged with the game they play, that being Tug of War. They made the video more interesting. Also, how the game they played made the way for some intensity throughout the video, both rounds of the game. It was enjoyable to watch unfold. I also thought what they did with Player 1 in this video was intriguing in regards to him not finishing the game. As well, I found Chef Peepee and Jeffy teaming up to be very cool and unique because this is a duo of characters that's very uncommon. The only major video I can think of with this team up is Chef Peepee the babysitter. In this this video, it's different though, because Chef Pee-Pee's actually happy to be teammates with Jeffy and remains so for the whole video. That's a nice change from the previously mentioned, which is also a great and fun video. All around, this was a great video, and honestly my favorite part in the Squid Game 2 series so far, making it the best video of the month and the year so far, giving this one a well-deserved 9.5 out of 10. I love this one a lot. What a genuinely fun and enjoyable video. I'm very mixed on this video. For one, it felt like not a lot happened in this video for a majority of it. It just felt like a lot of talking with only stuff happening in the second half of the video. However, it happens too fast and the video definitely felt like it wrapped up too quickly. Maybe more could have been done about what else was written in the president's book perhaps? Don't know. Also, the trio calling ice on Chef Pee-Pee was just what the fuck. This felt kinda out of character for all of them, even Junior. Brooklyn Guy as a result was annoying too. Poor Chef Pee-Pee. On the other hand though, this video also has some good comedic value to it. Lance as Donald Trump will always be hilarious, mostly in that it always seems like his portrayal is mocking him. He's pretty hilarious in the video. I also thought no TikTok for a week as the punishment for the trio was gold. Additionally, I really liked that Dr. Finkelshitz returned in this video and his scene was great in all honesty. Probably my favorite part of the video. Finkelshitz will always be funny, thanks to Pooh's performance as him. The Secret Service guy was funny too, as well. Junior claiming and pretending to know Nicolas Cage but not really was kind of funny. As well, the concept for this video is interesting. I was torn between this video, but I'm gonna give this video a 6 out of 10. A decent video, but not exactly what I call good. It could have definitely been better, but it did have its good moments. For the final video of this month and the fourth part of the Squid Game 2 series, this video was honestly pretty disappointing. I didn't like this one all too much. I just think Brooklyn Guy should have been toned down by quite a bit. Him treating the circle guard like shit is reminiscent of how he treats Miss Fitzpatrick like shit at Applebee's, and it really didn't need to be in this series. There was no place for it. If Brooklyn Guy was better in this video would be way more enjoyable to watch. As well, my other big issue with this video is that the intensity from the previous 3 videos is absent in this. I didn't feel like anything while watching the game of marbles unfold. I feel like if they actually played the game for real and better, it could have been more fun to watch. The fact nobody truly lost just makes this video feel pointless too. As well, the circle guard didn't really leave much of an impression on me like the other guards did. Each of the other guards had their memorable and great moments in the series, and this one didn't really stand out besides, well, girl, and she gets mad and yells at Brooklyn Guy. Honestly, such a shame. As well, I'm disappointed that there was no further development or anything new going on with Player 1 in this one. He loses but doesn't get eliminated. But him avoiding elimination isn't really new though. We needed slightly more information about him in this part. He's still interesting in this series, and I do hope future parts of this series add more to this guy's character. But this part didn't really do much with him when it should have. Also minor, but Brooklyn Guy's story was kind of boring. Not bad or anything, but still. In terms of positives, well, you could tell some effort was still attempted in this video, at least conceptually. So this video still gets points over a few of the videos that came out this month, which really didn't do much conceptually. Jeffy and Marvin were decent enough, and finally, Chef Pee-Pee coming back and the twist of him actually still being alive was cool. All in all though, a pretty underwhelming disappointment of a video. 3 out of 10, honestly. Hope part 5 is better and picks the series back up. And here's the ranking for the month. Cody's Wisdom Teeth, Jeffy's Booger Ball, Squid Game 2 Part 4, Kenzel Washington, The President's Book, Junior's Low Taper Fade, Junior Saves TikTok, Jeffy's Dinosaur Tooth, The Clock Problem, Snow Day, Brooklyn Guy's Last Hope, Squid Game 2, Squid Game 2 Part 2, and Squid Game 2 Part 3. All around, I think January 2025 was actually a decent start to the year for SML in my opinion. I ended up enjoying most of the videos, and that's a pretty damn good thing. If I had to give a final score for the month, I'd say 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, that's really it for now. I'm working on a ranking video for a show I really like, so be on the lookout for that. Toodles!